Deerling sadly seems like it was just an afterthought of Sawsbuck. Forwarding them all, and they are the first of their kind as normal grass-type Pokemon, which is very cool stylistically, but not very good, especially defensively. And Deerling's stats are also not great. 75 speed is nice, but 60s in attack and 50s in defense is just not enough. All three of its abilities are nice though, and you can actually get one with its hidden ability Serene Grace in Gen 5 as a gift. But not only does it not get any moves to take advantage of said ability, but its move pool in general is not very good at all outside of Leech Seed. And its evolution level isn't helping either. I think this is probably about a 2.5 in battle prowess at best. And as far as we count it in this series, the only place you can find it is Unova and its sequels, where it is available after the 5th gym in both, so that gives it 3 stars of availability. Its concept though is kind of hard to figure out a score for. At base value it is of course a deer, but it has plants growing on it. And the whole changing with the seasons thing on its own is really cool, but then you add the context of that being Gen 5's new gimmick, and that's a pretty cool concept. That's fairly interesting and creative, 3.5 stars. But I do think that its design could have been a bit better. Sawsbuck does a great job showcasing the changing of the seasons, but Deerling just changes colors. Fun fact, it actually was designed backwards from Sawsbuck, but still, they could have at least changed the flower, like whether or not it was in bloom with that season, or given it like a thicker coat in the winter, something. Sure, Deerling is very cute on its own, but it could have been so much better, even with just some subtle changes. 3 stars. So that will give Deerling an even 3 stars overall. Sawsbuck is one of my favorite, like under the radar or underappreciated Pokemon. Forwarding them all, and it can be pretty awesome in battle. 100 attack and 95 speed is nothing to scoff at, but its HP and defenses aren't great. You'd think that any of these 3 pretty awesome abilities would be great, but it doesn't really need Chlorophyll's speed boost, and gaining a grass immunity doesn't do much for its unique normal grass typing. And even though you can get one with Serene Grace in Gen 5, it doesn't really have any moves to take advantage of that, but that's not to say that its move pool is bad, it's still pretty good regardless. Combining Leech Seed and Horn Leech for recovery, then hitting hard with moves like Return, Jump Kick, and Mega Horn, even some setup and utility with Charm, Swords Dance, and Thunder Wave. It has some nice potential in battle, 4 stars. Its availability though will sadly stay the same as Deerling's 3 stars for only really being available after the 5th gym at Unova. However, it does take a significant step up in concept. At first glance it's a deer, of course, but in keeping with Gen 5's new seasons mechanic, it changes its appearance with the seasons, which is pretty cool on its own, but it also has several cultural references like Yggdrasil from Norse mythology, and or the tale of St. Hubert's stag who grows a cherry tree from its head. This is the perfect formula for Pokemon concept. A normal but cool animal plus a fantastical trait plus some cultural reference or inspiration, and even tie it into the game really creatively, and that's a 5-star concept. And its design, or designs, are of course very simple, but done very well. They also fix all of my complaints with Deerling, who quite literally just changed colors. No change of state of blooming of its flowers, no thicker fur in the winter, nothing. And Sawsbuck not only fixes that, but ramps it up. Personally, the spring form is my favorite, with the subtle touches of pink in the fur and the what I think are cherry blossoms in the antlers are such a nice touch without going too extreme. I think it's perfect, but I also really like how the summer form adds that scruffy bit at the back of the head and the tail. And the winter form, who of course adds the fluffy white legs and mane and the white antlers, looks fantastic. The fall form is my least favorite. It doesn't look bad by any means, I just think it's the least creative. I think they're all amazing looking Pokemon and perfect for the first normal grass type Pokemon. I know I'm higher on it than most, so I'll meet in the middle with you guys and give it 4.5 stars in design, which will plant it the final score of 4.125 stars overall, just short of the top 5.